upcoming season is here today with us, Macaulay Culkin. Co-creator, writer, producer, Senreich. Co-creator, producer, man of a million voices on Robot Chicken, Seth Green.
This is the Silly Hat Club. This is one of the first gatherings of the Silly Hat Club. We'd like to call the meeting to order.
Now that you've made a third Star Wars, to go along with the Lucasfilms, are you going to make up to a sixth? I think that would be...
I always like to answer this question the same way. It took him 20 years to get to those next three. Maybe 16 or whatever it is. So maybe 16 years. We keep talking about it.
But we don't know. Our specials are less specific to any particular movie and more just kind of being silly with that universe. This is the most cohesive story that we've got, and this one actually runs from before Phantom Menace.
After Return of the Jedi, and kind of tell the story through a different perspective. So through the eyes of like the Emperor and Darth Vader and like all the bad guys in essence, what it's their story of what happened.
We had people tell us that they got their kids into Star Wars by showing them Robot Chicken, and we're like... So once you know, like, Vader and the Emperor as a bickering couple, if you see them in the movie, doesn't that kind of take away from your ability to be scared of Darth Vader?
What else can we talk about?
I mean, like, 2 or 3 years from now, we'll be able to show you this awesome Lucasfilm cartoon that we're working on. Like 2 or 3 years.
It's gonna be CG. It's awesome. No, it's funny. We say a lot of stuff about it, and we're misquoted everywhere. Like, I was at the Clone Wars premiere, and I said in passing, "Oh my God, working with George is a surreal experience." And the next thing is like, Matt Senreich says the show is it's going to be a surreal experience. Is it like HR Puffin stuff? And like, but if you like what we do on Robot Chicken, it's going to be our sense of humor, but for all ages, and it's going to be something that we're loving to do, and we're looking out for everybody.
We saw you in the front row of the main event at Star Wars Celebration. Did you get to enjoy it at all that weekend? Or were you
that was, I have to say, that Saturday was one of my top 10 most insane days of my life. It was surreal from beginning to end, because again, it was all Star Wars. I'm a part of Star Wars in some capacity, which still I can't comprehend. George is great. Well, I think what people don't realize about him is he's got a wicked sense of humor. The first time I met him was we were recording him for the first Star Wars special, and Seth had met him before through work and stuff like that. And he walks in the room and he's like, "I'm just gonna be like the jerk actor," and I was like, "Okay." And Seth's like, "That's okay. I'm a prick director." So, and he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna read it however I want." And Seth's like, "As long as you read it exactly how it is on the page once," he's like, "that would be perfect." And it was just banter like that, back and forth. And I was like, "What do I say? How do I do something?" Like, and I had that moment. But through that, I've just gotten to know him, and you always see him so like stoic and like serious. I think Star Wars Celebration with Jon Stewart had his most lively interview. Yeah, it was one of those situations where we sit there and again, Seth was called out in the panel with Jon Stewart, and he didn't call me out. And after, it was really funny because he pulls me aside and he goes, "I gotta do." He's like, Seth's the face, and I'm like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "I know you're the brains." He's like, "Well, I'm not. If I say your name, half the people out there have no idea who you are." And I'm like, "That's a good point." I was like, "Thanks for shooting me down and being like passive aggressively." And he started laughing at it. We just had that back and forth, which was really nice.
Do you ever have any access to being shadowed by Seth Green? Yeah.
Matt's like almost a full foot taller than me, so he shadows me in most direct sunlight.
Yeah, and I don't know if you realize I'm really awkward up here, so him taking the limelight, God bless him.
It's the hat.
Yeah, they're a perfect couple.
We are.
I don't know why I'm sitting in between them.
There gets between our love.
Whatever you say, Yoko.
Is there any other movie or trilogy, like Lord of the Rings, you want to rip into out there that And what's the green light process to do that?
It's not a special, but we have an epic series of Lord of the Rings sketches in the 5th season. We have like 10 or 12 Gandalf sketches this year, and then there's a massive like J.R.R. Tolkien Jr. novel that we act out.
Surprisingly, our writers are probably the most clean-cut people you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
you'd be shocked.
Everybody just assumes that they're like speedball and heroin and doing blow on each other's asses, but
They're all people who go to bed at like 9 o'clock at night, like...
They come in the morning, they're like, did you see what Rudy said on 60 Minutes? It's very important. And yet those are the guys with the darkness.
Yeah, I was going to say, but they all have
the darkness to write
side.
the Sunny Muffin sketch. Anybody? The Pegasus. Wayne Brady is a Pegasus. The only like negative, I feel so bad about this too. The only negative thing that we've ever gotten was from Stevie Wonder's people. I know.
I'm actually surprised you're telling this story.
Well, because we straight up love Stevie Wonder. Like, who doesn't love beloved international icon Stevie Wonder? And the letter was basically like, hey, man.
It was a heartbreaking day.
We represent the beloved entertainer Stevie Wonder. That wasn't cool. And we all were like, we read the letter and got like teared up and we're really upset. Like, oh my gosh, I hope we didn't hurt Stevie's feelings. We're pretty sure nobody showed it to him. But like I would really hate to like be somewhere and run into Stevie Wonder and be like, oh my gosh, like it's so exciting to meet you, and have somebody go like this. And have Stevie go, come on. I don't want to get into a fight with Stevie Wonder.
Your brother, what do you think about him in Scott Pilgrim?
I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was a scenes
Dude!
He's a sexy beast.
The last time I saw you, Macaulay, was I think in Saved, and I was just curious, where have you been this entire time? I haven't heard like anything about
I've been just hiding under a rock somewhere, you know. No, just hanging out.
Wait, he just did Robot Chicken.
Yeah,
What
just
are you
like
talking
what
about?
are you doing?
The best thing about Mac is that he's had a more successful career by the time he was 14 than most of us will have in our entire lives. So his version of retirement is totally different than any of us can even have perspective on. So if he spends like 4 years, maybe 6 years not doing anything, he will still be more relevant than anyone in this room.
What about Titan Maximum?
What about Titan?
Yes.
Any news on Titan Maximum Season 2?
You know, I just was talking to the head of Adult Swim about it. The biggest trick with it is Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken production is 11 months out of the year. So it's a full-time job. Add Star Wars into the mix, and it's about 13 to 14 months of non-stop working on Robot Chicken.
Take that in, it's longer than your school year.
But that said, we love it, and hopefully we'll get back to it at some point.
It was so funny.
Yeah,
So funny. I hope
we love
We
Titan.
love, that's a passion project of ours.
Titan Force, go!
The episode after the finale is written. We know what happens, and it's exciting, but will it ever be seen? Or when will it be seen? Because, yeah, I love it. Those characters are passionate to both myself and Tom Root, and we have every desire to get back to it.
So, working for Marvel and Wizard, you've obviously been coming to New York Comic Con for a while.
Yes.
How have you seen it evolve over the years?
Oh my God.
This year especially.
I was actually commenting to my friend, and we were walking in, and I was like, it's like, I think they're expecting like 80 to 100,000 people this weekend or something like that. That blows my mind away, because I've been doing this show. I mean, I did the Big Apple Con when it was really tiny and stuff like that. And it was like in a church basement. So this is much different. I mean, it has the feel of San Diego Comic-Con, but the difference is this feels a little bit more comic-centric as opposed to entertainment-centric, which I still love.
Question for Seth. You work on a lot of things.
I'm very busy, yes.
How hard are your days?
I mean, I work on a lot, but my days are not as hard as somebody that has to bust concrete all day. So, at the end of the day, I'm playing with toys and living my dreams. So it's hard to complain. It's hard to complain about being tired. But you do have to work hard to live your dream. You do.
It's one of those situations where I always knew I wanted to go into comic books when I was growing up. When I was 16, I got an internship at Marvel Comics. From that point forward, there was nothing else in life for me. And as soon as I graduated college, I worked at Wizard Magazine. So my path was geekdom, which was it was phenomenal. And then I stumbled across that Seth Green guy, and
Really didn't think that this was a job. Honestly, just thought this was something that our friends and us were doing together. And then it turned into 5 years of making an actual show.
Thanks everybody, thanks to Macaulay.
Thank you, man.
no, thank you guys.
Here's some hot dogs.
All right. Awesome.
Fuck.